Hello, friend. This is Ryan Hicks of TalkToProfit.com, and for today's Christian Law of Attraction and Success podcast, I want to discuss the origins of the Law of Attraction. And by origins, I should be very clear. I'm talking about modern origins because this is an ancient teaching taught in the Bible from ancient times and taught by men even before there was Scripture. These are things that many people don't even know about. But I want to lay a foundation here because there's things you need to understand as a Christian that if you don't understand, it can make you be one of these people who just flippantly rejects the law of attraction, says it's new age or says it's this or that, whatever term people manage to come up with to dismiss it and to ignore whether it's truthful or not. So I want to get into this, and then I want to discuss real quickly why it's important that we seek the truth and not just try to seek what we think agrees with what we've been taught or what we think agrees with our church or our pastor or whoever. We're concerned as Christians with truth, not just dogma. And so the phrase law of attraction in English is first attributed to Helena Blavatsky. Now, she was a Russian occultist, and so that immediately makes some people go, oh no, we can't believe that law of attraction stuff. But if you actually read what she was talking about, it is not what we're talking about today in law of attraction. It is much more interested in nature and molecules being attracted, and there's a little bit of hermeticism in there, but it really is not what we're talking about today. And she first used the phrase law of attraction in her book Isis Unveiled, which was published in 1877. In chapter 7, she says this: that which science calls gravitation, the ancients and the medieval hermeticists called magnetism, attraction, affinity. It is the universal law which is understood by Plato and explained by Timaeus as the attraction of lesser bodies to larger ones and of similar bodies to similar, the latter exhibiting a magnetic power rather than following the law of gravitation. The anti-Aristotelian formula that gravity causes all bodies to descend with equal rapidity without reference to their weight, the difference being caused by some other unknown agency, would seem to point a great deal more forcibly to magnetism than to gravitation, the former attracting rather in virtue of the substance than of the weight. A thorough familiarity with the occult faculties of everything existing in nature, visible as well as invisible, their mutual relations, attractions, and repulsions, the cause of these traced to the spiritual principle which pervades and animates all things, the ability to furnish the best conditions for this principle to manifest itself, in other words, a profound and exhaustive knowledge of natural law. This was and is the basis of magic. Now, the actual term, the phrase law of attraction, is only found in her 2-volume set, Isis Unveiled, a single time. This is in chapter 10. This is the context of it. It says, by whatsoever name the physicists may call the energizing principle in matter is of no account. It is a subtle something apart from matter itself, and as it escapes their detection, it must be something besides matter. If the law of attraction is admitted as governing the one, why should it be excluded from influencing the other? Leaving logic to answer, we turn to the common experience of mankind and there find a mass of testimony corroborative of the immortality of the soul, if we judge but from analogies. But we have more than that. We have the unimpeachable testimony of thousands upon thousands that there is a regular science of the soul, which, notwithstanding that it is now denied the right of a place among other sciences, is a science. So, reading that to you, it becomes very apparent. She's not talking about the exact principle as we talk about the law of attraction today. The law of attraction today, as I'm describing it to you, and it is called different things. Some people talk about the law of assumption. They talk about the law of belief. These are just variations that basically are the same basic principle. The law of attraction, some people say it means like attracts like. That's kind of a misnomer, but really what it is what you focus on, you attract into your life. That can be via the law of assumption, the law of belief, the law of attraction, whatever you want to call it. It's really all the same basic thing that we, by our belief, are creating the reality we experience. Now, for a Christian who may have been taught by well-meaning people that God's in control of everything, that whatever happens is God's will, that idea and that concept can seem foreign to you. It's not because it's untrue. It's just simply because people haven't taught it, because here's a simple truth. It lays out before people a responsibility for their life where without it, they can just cast off any blame they have for their own mistakes in life, any misdoings, and just say, must be God's will. That's why people really are against the law of attraction. Not because they believe it's New Age. And are there New Age people who use the law of attraction? Of course. But that does not mean it's New Age. There are New Age people who eat food. We don't say eating food's New Age either. We look for the truth as Christians. And this is very important because Jesus said in John chapter 14, verse 6, he said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me. Truth is the fundamental principle in Christianity, that we should strive always to believe the truth. Now, for me, I don't care where the truth comes from. I don't care if it's this formerly obscure Russian lady who's now very well known across the world, Helena Blavatsky. I don't care who it is. It doesn't matter. Is what they are saying truthful? That's what's really important. If we just reject something because we don't like the individual or we don't agree with some of their conclusions, we can dismiss all kinds of things. People did this in early times. They rejected all kinds of scientific facts because it didn't align with what their dogma had taught them. That wasn't even scriptural. What they believed was not taught in the scripture. They just believed that it was taught in the scripture. Their preachers and their priests and everybody told them it was. They just blindly accepted it. But we are above that today. We have so much information available to us, and we want the truth. We're not trying to get the truth only if it comes to a select source that we deem perfect for us to receive from. Truth is truth, my friend, and we should always seek the truth. Now, the phrase law of attraction was more popularized by the book Thought Vibration, The Law of Attraction in the Thought World by William Walker Atkinson. That was first published in 1908. And that book is specifically dealing with what we would call today the law of attraction. It's very, very specific and dealing with thoughts attracting to you the things you desire. Now, since the publishing of that book, there have been numerous authors talking about the law of attraction. Anyone from Napoleon Hill, James Allen, all over the place. There's been so many people. There are hundreds and hundreds and probably thousands of authors talking about the law of attraction. I myself have written a book about the law of attraction called God's Secret Law of Attraction. You can get it for free on my website. It's an important truth that people need to understand. But it really came into the forefront, and where everybody across all social standings, knowledge levels, education levels, whatever you want to divide people by, it really became popular by Rhonda Byrne in her documentary movie and book called The Secret. Now, Rhonda Byrne actually said that it was the book The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles that inspired her to make this documentary and book. And while the movie was watched by hundreds of millions of people, it was widely criticized by some, even by some of the people in it, like my friend Bob Proctor and Joe Vitale, who both said that it left out important details. And if you watched it, it obviously does leave out important details. But I think as an overall, just get people into the idea, it's not a terrible film. For the Christian, is it Christian? Absolutely not. But is it anti-Christian? Is it contrary to Christ's teachings? No. This is where I get back to the important point that we have to be truth seekers, not seekers of religious dogma and trying to align with whatever church has taught what this thing or that thing, or whatever this preacher believes. We got to follow them and only believe what they say. We need to believe the truth, my friend. And the truth is that the law of attraction is a principle taught in the scripture. And in the next podcast, I'm going to get into details about the scriptures plainly teaching the law of attraction. And if you'll receive it, it's going to absolutely radically change your life. My friend, I pray this is a blessing for you. May God bless you richly.